Regarding the exchange possibility or option of hard drives, um, the question is which device of mine would be of interest. Of interest has already been the first Marburg laptop that on that only law, and known only by a few content related. So that one is completely destroyed. I don't have it any longer, even in my first household, wherever that might be. Still, my interesting, not my immediate possession because I don't have any contract, but it is still in my ownership because I did not derelinquate. 2010 though, so I still indeed don't have any offer or any hint and clue where exactly to ask for. Likely health center number one. Then, which then would be of interest. Of interest, the one that was destroyed in due discourse of the arson 2004. I got a copy of the hard disk on a new laptop that looked exactly the same. So likely there are two laptops containing one containing beginnings of my studies, BA, and one containing everything till the end, which one would think is still in my first household though, but likely being exchanged, and thereby I indeed would not have a BA, but another person would have my BA, who was chosen to be presented with that. Tina Lücke, likely. Meantime, better than I though, because I could not proceed with Arabic, for example. But I did start other languages. During the reconstruction, the second version. So if that was presented, then people indeed now have a clue maybe to ask, what did you do in order to receive that present? Yeah, you must have done loads to receive that kind of a present that indeed grabs into the very core identity matters of another person, of a person that many people then at least knew. If it is signaled that they could indeed not have seen me anytime, anywhere at all in their very lives. So the third set of laptops, one must say, that is already part of a Beweismittelvernichtung indeed. So I bought several laptops starting 2008 following, amongst 3 apples, which I then would sell on eBay, and the eBay account is closed. The eBay account was closed in due discourse of taking me to the Erfurt Homelessness Center. Upon one mistake, I did not empty my letterbox, so I missed out on things. And then I had another laptop until I now have these laptops. And meantime, I discovered it in my flat though, 2016, that indeed the first version that once in a while I refer to during the course of my second version of the reconstruction of the core criminal complex, it has been stolen indeed. All devices which were here in the flat, external drives, they were empty. There were indeed rests were left, unusable though. And that has been maybe communicated by Juliane Riem. Search only in the texts adjacent to each and every reel for the keyword Juliane Riem, capital letter written, so you can find it easily, and then you have context. So these laptops are now of interest. the external drivers of interest. So that external drive, which I have now in my pocket, in my bag, is already treated and handled with, because I don't have the device that contains the process of only storing. The process of only storing each and every month, no, in time gaps, but at least 4 times a year I would copy everything which then was in the very month, on the very day, on my laptop, and that is I don't have it any longer. And because I'm a teacher's daughter and my grandfathers were also teachers, I taught you all how indeed to replace me. So have much fun to replace each other. I can say this laptop, this concerns now the question when this was of interest. Yeah, so if there also was something during which time has that happened. So if I kind of closed it closed it on the 26th of April 2024, then what when was the Festplatte then when was the external Festplatte treated and handled with? I would assume that happened till early as a month, the following month, May 2024. Why? Because those people sitting on my texts, on my Festplatte, ordering it from there and where, and thinking that it is all theirs on grounds of businesses related to students' texts. Yeah, one keyword in my text was a thesis, but it was not a doctoral or a MA thesis, but it was strictly, strongly arson reconstruction related. So not a thesis in the academic sense. Till May, because they simply did not have any clue how could be proceeded with the then there being textual compilation of mine that I already had put online description-wise on 30 pages, though triparted. So left side would be a date and certain layers would be on offer, and right side, 2/3 of the page, there was a description and everything structured, and each and every text likewise introduced. And one would start from the last page, proceeding to the first page, and then would already be in the nose who was talking there, which was me sitting on a only okay, but also on law studies, BA, Islamic studies though, and therefore also calling myself not a full-fledged jurist and lawyer, which I'm not, but a paralegal analyst and profiler, which is what I'm doing here. And then arriving on the first page, it was maybe Eroni Reike would communicate only Strafrecht, if so. Sitting on online experience and knowing that if you consult there a lawyer, you would have to tick and to pick a line saying this and that one does this and that, but in reality it is not that easy. It is really not that easy, and that is why law is so difficult in Germany. So, Eroni Reike cannot judge upon my texts and tell me what I do and what I don't do, and what I have done and what I have not done. He for certain can do, but idealistically he can't. Intellectually he cannot. Also other people not. May 2024, they did not really know what else can be done with these texts. The answer is simple. The answer is totally simple. I said it once in a while. It is simply not ready. It is simply not ready. I have not talked about each and every person. I have not seen then what I saw upon having done the mind map and having started to tell and once in a while to watch myself having done the video, me alone with the phone, if twin devised, and explaining and telling, thereby also gaining. Ach ja, this is. Oh yeah, this is that and that. Yeah, so. Now the question, May 2024. What did I see then there? This is indeed maybe even an advice in directions of the very caretakers and caretakers for the both the well-beings of both my parents living in Bremen. So, if I see here in the neighborhood, which I visited very late at night, but they are Ausländer, having loads of children, and one knows that they stay up till late at night. So that an elderly lady indeed opened me and even let me in, and we would stand in midst of her room, though her flat, and would talk, and I would look around, and indeed, what did I see? I saw a herb, which, if one translates it, tells you Festplatte. And I saw a Schmuckstück. I saw indeed a bracelet or what, and that was always worn. I must say, it was always worn by my mother. So, I'm not here though to recorrect that, because upon the death of my mother, I would not be interested in that very bracelet, because I don't wear gold. I don't wear gold, but I saw that it was not an extraordinary piece, though it indeed can have been another piece. But I saw it, and I saw the very herb. If one translates it, it tells you device, external hard drive also. What else? What else? There are then two groupings involved, directable though, from elsewhere. And the question is, which I'm only interested in, from where? From where are those people being directed? We have two groupings, if one wills. One that the elderly lady is adjacent to, and then certain people in the Bremer Seniorenwohnheim. There are Germans, Lower Saxony, one can hear that, and one can feel that. I telephoned there a few times, and I have already been told that there are Turkish people. So let's hope that there are more Adudu-like, those that did not have any problem with me, and hoping that they are not being in the re-education process to becoming like, shall I say, a grouping. Is Tüler coaching already comprising a grouping? Those that were sneaking into my life upon having heard that one got a 13 points in German criminal law, playing me a friend, a female friend, though she did not hide her curiosity. But she did indeed not reveal what those people were doing against me, completely endangering me. In setting up a website that I cannot show, but that I have had, one must say, to argue, because no one in Germany would spring in and help me. I argued it. There must have been such a thing, because I argued it in a text. And one receives here symptoms shown by the TV that indeed it cannot have been otherwise. The question is then if one would think only of two groupings of foreigners, in inverted commas, because Turkish people now have two passes. One is completely German, and the other tells you, oh yes, we can also travel to Turkey every once in a while, and being there also a citizen. So is there a third A grouping? One would assume yes, because I was learning Arabic, so they would search for a grouping there. And I was learning Farsi, though that very late, so that would be of no interest, but very much of interest, of course, would be the part that shows also likely like that one also slapped me in the face, and you will receive something back. So the idea to connect the two bicycle of ours, one that I got from my brother, that was sprinkled, and then that you had that also was sprinkled, is was not all, in that text. That indeed has not been all. There is more that I can tell, and will do so. Rusbe, ja, Rusbe. The idea in that text, in a very early text, and I have not received any concrete offer. Yeah, I just here get symptoms, and people shout behind me passages out of my texts, and would mimicry me and totally belittle me once in a while. Very fiercely, one must say. 21 following till it would defloat, maybe 2025, indeed, then it would have already been defloated. The idea in that very first Schreiben was to suggest that you got your bicycle from a person that wanted to connect to bicycles, and thereby one must say three people. Me and my brother, because my brother wrote it before me, if the bicycle was too small for him. And you, but you were fucking around. You had nothing to do. You had no job. You were looking very good, and you were Persian, and you would tell it also, and you would hint. Me, I did not know what to do with that information, but other people that you were visiting or being visited by, likely that those people loved that and would be a better fit. For example, a person that could speak Russian. That could speak Russian and that would be able to deal with that information further. So likely you indeed did at least one recording on your very device, which now the devices topic and the exchange policies topic, that indeed looked similar to the very 17 Zoller of then my brothers in Berlin. That is astounding. That is indeed astounding. And now me, having begun to introduce to become a futurist Islamist on grounds of very good study results 2002 till 2005, having started already to disregard my law study past by means of destroying the first Marburg laptop in Erfurt 2 after the arson. And in Erfurt 2 I would not have been living without the arson, but people there then could enter the flat easier because it is in a livelier a surrounding in midst of the city it was. So, and then 2005 starting to introduce me, or firstly to suggest, do you want to become an Islamist in a Protestant church, if one thinks that over. At that time, I did not see the 1 to 9 connection that only was possible upon another text. So both texts that I'm referring to here are the letter mentioned is schreiben STA Erfurt, though I think it should be dealt with elsewhere, not in Erfurt. Jena, for example. No, we have a Landgericht here. We have a Landgericht here. It looks always empty, but we have a Landgericht here. At paragraphs 306 following StGB/Gebäudeschaden. There the under hashtag D indeed the row of number combinations that describe my way from Erfurt 1 to the university and backwards. That Schreiben I mentioned, and before I was referring to my Schreiben SDA Frankfurt paragraphs 211, maybe A249 StGB. So there is the passage that is as if for you. Then it was there restricted indeed for you. And it fit into the context. So the way I dealt with there, I still can, I would still sign that. So, people knowing that you were sitting on a 17 Zoller, it indeed might have been also a 17 Zoller, and knew my brother possessing also one, then there would search for people that knew everything. So, who could that have been? Who could that have been? I have no clue at all. But you betrayed me in doing a secret A recording, likely. If I see such a thing, I could recognize. And if that was true, you should not have done that. The photo that was shot the very same day, I was in a flat only once. That likewise, but I thought about that when I was in Berlin, and you would visit me, and we met downstairs, and you would hand me everything, and you promised, yes, that's all, and I did not copy anything. You have everything. So my brother, totally curious, like Thülay Kocha, likely that he used a showering period of mine, taking always approximately an hour to search through my very oval box that was closed though. But he likely would use the key and just open it and see, for example, Ingo du Arschloch. See, for example, that the amount on my bank account was low, so low that he knew that I don't have any clue what people did with my identity. He knew then that, and he tested me if I still was too friendly. Well, is it too friendly? So I gave him over 2,000 over 1,000 euros, which I late got back, but I got it back in order to see him in order to enable him. It is the better vocab. In order to enable him to becoming a lawyer. This is that conglomeration. So, who combines us all? Who combines us all, and who played each one against each other, likely, and seeing me to be the total loser? Who loved to indeed let me be the total loser? I would assume it is more in your acquaintance other than in mine / in Ingo's. I indeed would assume that. 23 minutes. Is it uploadable on Facebook? Let's see. I might do this on YouTube and refer. So, and having talked about in shorter videos. That are likely to go to the reel that I'm going to do on the maybe even a combination pirates here and pirates there, involving biochemistry, involving loads of things, and not ending at money matters. Then those videos here would refer to this. And here indeed is the question, because it is totally interesting. It indeed is now the question, which lawyer, which full-fledged Rechtsanwalt would want to take it all over without paying me, though. Yeah, because on grounds of tradition. On grounds of tradition, knowing that I have no chance at all because people are educated just to give me to show symptoms and not talk any longer. And if communicate, then not relatable and referable to, because I have a threefold diagnosis, most likely psychosis, if I remember it correctly, and on grounds of human greed, and simply the knowledge that one has no chance other than giving herself into prostitution, and this time being cleverer than the times before. I would like to hinder that, and I indeed suggest you, Rusbe, use the number combinations and the GB or the DE account and give me my money. Same holds true as regards Oliver Herzog. Who else was there? That one did not know how to deal with money. Now all of a sudden he's a tax lawyer in London. So also pass me over something. Because you are connected via one of your Greek friends, female, to the German Red Cross, and later likely to the Turkish Hilal. I want to have my share of all of you for being there sexual-wise, and we all knew that I gave you more. Andreas, I drove you around. Oliver, I don't know. Well, you are likely also a psychiatric case being missed out on, so you must have found something something good in having been together with me. Well, and wasn't it for my patience and for my clowneries? Not so much, but you would refer to that. Yeah, I can be funny at times. Connecting you to our circle of friends, then, Nadia Tushov's the idea, she have written all that. Gerhard is a harder case. That one is likely to have to be turned in. I also have prepared something on that. Who else then? Ruspe, yeah. So if only a few months, but the hashish that I got, I always paid. Yeah, I always paid that. And the sexual thing, it was not too good, and you also would participate in certain procedures that suggested to others watching, well, that one is on the state of being a baby, and she gets not the real thing, firstly, and secondly, that scene with that circumcised and marketed first sexual organ of yours, knowing likely that this is being watched, sent all over, suggesting that one is frigid, and unless she takes each and every dick into her mouth, then at a later point of time, being exchangeable, thereby suggesting she likes that and she gets it elsewhere against nothing. That is an endangerment that is severe, and that is indeed likely, it is very severe. I don't suggest the paragraphs, but I say that has not been nice. That indeed has not been nice. Also, the idea to cancel the fact of the first love relationship, then starting to cancel the fact of the second love relationship, that one got everything halfways. Skyfall, you did not get my heart, and else you also didn't get. So, not nice to vanish and not being there for being questioned. One cannot believe that, yeah, really, one cannot believe that. I'm not advertising here The next time I do the next one, I do everything and will not be frigid any longer. You have completely fucked up my life. You have completely fucked up my life, indeed. So you were connected, number 3 and number 2 before. You wanted to let it appear in a certain light, meaning a Jew, Iranian woman not receiving what she deserves, money-wise related, inheritance related. Yeah, only 10% those people get. You also likely you get nothing. Later the idea will let you be an Islamist. Then we have all problems heaped away. 2005 seeing in summer where the BA result is going to be very good. Yeah, it's going to be a 1 point anything. So, which lawyer then will be entrusted with all that stuff? Either none, because it is kept on grounds of any a social aim movement, but it is unnegatable that it is totally criminal relevant, and indeed one or the other needs a lawyer. Which one would claim that my texts are being theirs, thereby weakening me totally and putting me back into that conglomerate described, in which I indeed would have to take a dick into my mouth. Then people would stand around, photograph it, reduplicate it, and put those different dicks that they have gathered on grounds of their businesses throughout a decade or more, and thereby indeed letting me be a totally a slut. A totally a slut, knowing maybe which backgrounds I have, on which though I cannot build upon. That is one must not cite tricky here. That one is really showing total characterlessness. One cannot batch German any longer because too many foreigners are involved, though you are a German, yeah. So that is totally characterlessness. And if I would think of a lawyer, I would think, because that one would be so nice, to wave me a hi out of his SUV whilst I was on my Ghost. So those, I guess, are twins, because I saw the other one also in a place where I was expectable on grounds of knowing my online activity, and my activity is on my computer. So do we meet again, Herr Lukas, or your twin? Having not dealt with my debt problem properly has really put me off. So this is there are other people though that also have my text. And we have now understood that not everybody understands it all. Even if a Tina Lücke, for example, would be supported by means of gerichteter Schall and would be enabled to speak one or the other sentences, which was intelligent, into the then I think further than into the judge's or statutory prosecutor's face. It will not be sufficient. It will indeed not be sufficient, because you indeed have to have lived it. You have to have lived it, and you have to know that what you are saying is true. This is my standpoint. You might be able to act differently, and then we again arrive at the question: what did you do that you receive such a present? It cost me three first version plus more than 5 years to do this all. What did you do 8 years long through all of your life to receive such a present, which the one that is the owner of that future's present is not conceding, and that only you can gain on grounds of criminality? What did you do? Tell the people. I mean, not showing and letting me show, but tell by yourself. Put it into words. Maybe referring to the very area that both of us are stemming from. Any death there, I just suggested Nienburg, for example, Clausewitz. Pre, whilst, and after. What, though?